before we appear live on YouTube. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Analog Attack here. Thanks for tuning in. Saturday morning where I am. Friday night where everyone else is, probably. Episode 24. I can't believe I've done this 24 times. Actually, 23, because 1 week was postponed. Great panel tonight. Matt, thanks for coming on. Good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Christian, good to see you again. How you doing?
Awesome, man.
And Jason in San Francisco.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. It's great to meet you guys.
Thanks for being here. Good to see everyone. We're gonna have a great time, I'm sure. Actually, we've already been having a good time for the last hour and a half. But so let's just continue in that same vein. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
What's everybody's drink of choice this evening? Matt, how about you?
So right now it is Victory Brewing from Pennsylvania, Cloudwalker.
Nice.
Nice juicy IPA, a little bit of orange and nectarine.
Bubbly.
Tasty.
Nice.
Bubbly sparkling water and Diet Coke to stay awake.
Yes.
I've got this Crush 10-barrel brewing company. I kind of cut back on the IPA and hoppy beers. This is like a sour. There's a cucumber one I like, but they didn't have it. So
wow.
I've got raspberry.
Nice. I want an American classic.
American.
I'm not going to go into this again. I've already said why I'm drinking this, but it's actually not bad. I might have it again sometime. All right.
Good.
Let's do the housekeeping first. So everybody's watching. Let's feel free to like and subscribe. The chat's open. Oh, here we go. Jason's here.
I am?
Another
I know
Jason.
Jason.
There you go. Yeah, the comments are open. Chat's open. If you've got any comments, put them down below. We'll try and bring them up on screen. And if you've got any questions, or if we forget the bassist of some obscure band, let us know. Let us know in the comments. It's always helpful. This happens quite a lot, actually. So let's get down to it. Everyone knows the drill. We've all got 5 records we're going to show. We've been listening to this week. No genre specified. I can't wait to see what everyone's picked out. It's going to be a good time. We'll do one each. We'll keep going around. I'll start things off, and then we'll go me, Matt, Christian, Jason. We'll go around 5 times. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get going. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Or I'll just bring this one up. There we go.
Yeah. I was going to say that's a pretty big comment right there.
Yeah.
Warsick.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason.
There you go.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm a big Warsick fan myself too.
Jason says he's drinking a wheat beer this evening.
Hey, there's Grant.
There you go.
And a fellow New Brunswicker.
Really? Cool.
Grant, Grant the singer from Neighborhood Watch, who put out a single in the 80s.
Nice. Rusty does join us quite often on a Friday night. So cool.
Yeah, Grant's a great dude.
I got my shirt at the same show.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, there. He was at the Ottawa show. What was that, Bleak Life?
Warsick. Oh yeah, Jason was at Bleak Life. He might have been the second time we were there. He might have gotten his shirt the second time we were in Ottawa. Right on. I can't remember if I met Jason the first time we were in Ottawa.
Yeah, there you go. Bleak Life Fest.
Yeah, so that's. I think that has something to do with the same people that do Sitting on the Outside.
So I think Scott Jeff does Sodo.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
he was involved in Bleak Life. I can't remember if he was like officially Bleak Life crew, or whether he was just one of the buddies that helped out. Like it was Sammy, Matt Hargrove, Will, Tim, Tasha, maybe a couple other kids. I don't know. I'm not from Ottawa.
Yeah, same.
All right. Cool.
I love this Svavel Dioxide shirt. Their last LP, I thought it was great, and the singer sent me their newer stuff that's coming out, and I think it's even more intense and heavy.
I'm stoked for it. Robin, of course, like Robin was doing all that crazy art in the last few years. So
Yeah.
he was able to do some Warsick art for us back.
Oh, that's awesome. I have 8 of his drawings.
Oh, really?
I hit him up for. I did 4 at a time, two separate times.
Awesome.
During the pandemic, I was just like, I need some good art. This stuff's amazing. Yeah, he's great. Very humble person too.
And he played in Desperat.
Yes, yeah, and he was on.
All right, let's get down to it. Everyone knows I usually start off with my short, sharp shock, and I'm going to keep this pretty short unless everyone else has something to say about this record. It's a record people are talking a lot about recently. It's pretty new. Came out on a tape at the end of last year, I believe, at first. Was actually recorded in 2021, coming out of Olympia, Washington.
Like
Electric Chair.
Awesome.
Active Aggression. Me and Christian were kind of having a bit of some cheeky banter last night, and we had a funny back and forth. He's like, "What? I think it'll be the first time anyone's shown a silver chair." I just gave him a hint that it had the word chair in the title, and so he was like,
"Yeah." I was like, "Oh, big silver chair fan."
Silver chair.
There's a nice callback, right? The little kid band.
Yeah.
Iron Lung Records delivers the goods again. I know, man. It's like, what are you going to say about this record? It's like 80s US hardcore style, not DB, no crust. It's actually very deceptive. Like, especially the guitar work. It's actually pretty shit hot. It's like there's a lot going on with the guitar work on this record. Great drummer. Kind of reminds you of like Direct Control a little bit. There's a lot going on in like the space of these really short songs. Very straightforward, but at the same time very kind of complex. And Christian mentioned this. I kind of noticed it, but didn't know how to put it into words. What do you say? It's like very well engineered. Was that?
Oh yeah, for sure. The engineering on it's spectacular.
It really is. Like every instrument is like very, like there's a lot of separation with all the instruments. It's really nice to listen to, which you might not normally say about like a record of this ilk. But it's actually really nice on the ears. It's like very pleasant to listen to. And I don't know why that is. But Christian, you're saying it's the way it's like engineered and everything makes it sound.
It's good mix. Somebody knew what they were doing.
Yeah, and it's like the guitar gets a little bit psychedelic at times. There's even like a little ska kind of breakdown on side 2, but it totally works. It's great. Yeah. I know they've got like 3 7-inches out. I'm sure it's going to be on like a lot of people's lists this year.
Yeah,
right.
I think
maybe
I've only heard the 7-inch.
Maybe even tonight. Yes. Yeah. This could have actually almost. I mean, it's like 17 minutes long. I think it could have almost been a 7-inch, but I like the big format.
They should have done a 10-inch just to irritate people.
Yeah. That would have been.
I think the the descriptions you're making about like that style of hardcore, which sometimes can get like, it's very abrasive, but like if you're describing it as almost like pleasant on the ears, that's like very intriguing.
Yeah, it really
like
is.
That, sometimes can get like, all right, it gets a little repetitive to me sometimes. So that sounds really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely like keeps your attention. There is a lot going on. It's kind of deceptive. Yeah. There's a lot of twists and turns, even though it's like a straight ahead hardcore record.
Like my interpretation of some of the engineering on that record, as strange as it sounds, and only slightly, it kind of reminds me of the engineering of not last year's Dark Throne, but the one before that. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Mike?
Eternal Hails?
Yeah, Eternal Hails for sure.
That's the one. I love that album.
Drawing a blank for a second there. But yeah, so I find everything on that record kind of sounds like compartmentalized almost. So like the drums are separate, the guitars are separate.
Yeah.
Electric Chair's new album, it doesn't sound as separated as Dark Throne, but the tonality of the instruments is similar to that recording that was done. So it was done in a really, what I assume is a nice studio. It was done with a really low noise floor. It just sounds really good. And yeah, easy on the ears.
It was recorded
not my neighbor's ears, but I'm deaf anyway.
I also like the way that like they kind of ease off the distortion a fair bit on the record. I kind of like that too.
I can go either way, clean guitars or just like absolute trash guitars. I like it all.
Yeah. But anyway, great record. I'm sure people are going to be talking about this one.
That's going to be most people's top 10 at the end of the year. That's one of my guesses. for sure.
Agree. That's going to be a peak.
That's my short, sharp shock of today. Electric chair. Active
the artwork kind of reminds me of Lip Cream, like just the color, like this drawing style.
I've seen a few people say it's easy on the ears, but not easy on the eyes. Was a comment.
I'll say that as well.
Yeah, I mean it's not like the most.
I mean, there are testicles on the rocket.
The Lip Cream.
There are testicles on a rocket. There you go. Maybe that's why you were thinking Lip Cream. It does look like the Lip Cream rocket on that's
yeah.
That is.
I haven't seen a lot of rockets. Maybe they all have testicles.
Rocket to Russia has no testicles on it, my friend.
Fair point.
There you go. That's my first pick of the day. All right, Matt, what's your first choice?
Cool. So, I mean, we were talking about this a little bit in our little warm-up.
Yeah.
And it just so happens I pulled this record tonight. This is probably the record I've listened to more times than anything else in the last 10 years. I go back to it over and over and over and over. I cannot get enough of it. But Poison Idea, Feel the Darkness. This is 2 LP reunion show release edition, clear vinyl, numbered out of 100 copies or something. Jerry was kind enough to set me aside a copy when that show happened, miles and miles from home. So there's no way I was getting to it. This thing is, to me, like the perfect combination of punk, hardcore, and metal all put together into one package. The musicianship is second to none on it. I absolutely love this record. Like I said, I go back to the well on this one over and over and over and over. Every 10 records this thing plays.
Yeah, isn't there like a bit of a remix going on with that particular version?
I can't remember if it's remastered or not. Let's see what it says here. Remixed from the original multi-track analog source. Yeah.
There you go. That's interesting. How does it sound?
It sounds beautiful. Yeah, nice. It sounds great, and it's got all the B-sides and the covers and stuff on the second disc. I love this thing, man. Absolutely love it.
It's an all-time classic that I don't think any band has been able to kind of top since then.
What can you really say about Feel the Darkness by Poison Idea?
Yeah. I mean, I like it.
It's pretty difficult to find, Matt. It's rare, right? It was a gift to you.
Well, this one, Jerry set it aside for me from that show, saved me a copy. I'm sure they must have sold out that night,
Sure, yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah, and
Jerry's an awesome dude.
I disagree that I do not hear any mariachi on Plastic Bomb.
Who said that?
Me. It's the only song that doesn't really click with me. Everything from track 2 onwards, I really dig. Lots of Japanese hardcore feels going on, but that first one is just I don't know, just not my thing.
Yeah, I remember being a bit. I wasn't a huge fan of the "whoa" chorus at first, when I first heard it. But apart from that,
well, to each their own. Honestly, not disrespecting it. I understand why people like it, but I prefer the rest of the album from track 2 onward. But that being said, I'm sure a lot of people could talk a lot of shit about some of the bands I listen to. Right?
Let's find out.
We plan to.
Like Grave New World. I like that album. So chew on that, internet.
You tell them.
Yeah, man. There, in the comments. I got one. Plastic Bomb is a bit weird. Fuck yeah, it is a bit weird. But you know what? The rest of that album smokes, so I'll let that one track.
Who's saying that? Where's that? Why don't I see comments?
That's your homie, dude.
Yeah.
Jason said it.
There we go.
Forever online.
There you go. All right, Christian, what's your first pick of the day?
Well, I'm going to shuffle up my first pick now that you've done your short, sharp shit that you did. Here we go. Give it a guess, guys.
Come on.
Shock.
Oops.
Woo! So, Electric Chair. So, what did you have to say about Electric Chair, Mike? You were saying that it was pretty straightforward U.S. hardcore.
I'd go on the ears.
Further, because of some of the stuff that I've been listening to lately. It kind of reminds me very specifically of Rat Cage playing U.S. hardcore. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's a reasonable thing to say. Yeah. I don't have the newest Rat Cage album.
Neither do I. But yeah, the Skopje versus Sheffield or whatever, it really has that kind of sound to it.
Yeah.
That shit was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It really was, and this is a really good version of that. And you can definitely hear that there's Japanese hardcore influences on the album, Scandinavian hardcore influences on the album, UK hardcore influences on the album. It pretty much covers all their bases for great 80s stuff.
Yeah.
And again, really good on the ears. But we've already kind of reviewed that album, so that's my 2 cents, though. It reminds me of Rat Cage playing US hardcore. And the little sing-songy bits in that one, I actually found worked pretty well, too. Normally, I would be like, ugh. But no, they did it well. It was killer.
I forgot to say, I also like the timbre of the singer's voice. It's not too screechy. It's not too guttural. It's like right in the pocket.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a great voice.
Yeah, great voice, yeah.
Yeah, and the layering of the vocals on it as well is like pretty profound. There's a lot of vocal layers on it, so it's thick and it sounds good.
Yeah,
they did a great job.
Absolutely.
So that's my first pick, guys.
All right, cool.
2
electric chairs.
Okay, for me, something recent came out in March, I believe, and I'm going back to my home state and the city I lived in previously. Gonna go with the new Flower record, which is.
Awesome.
What are you laughing at?
You'll find out.
No, anyway, I mean, there's a lot of commentary on the artwork. You know, the Nick Blinko drawing style. It's a beautiful large poster. You know, there's a lot of comparison to Nausea, and I think that it reminded me even more so of Insurgents. That was on like the Squatter Rot. That's the first time I heard them anyway, with the Hawk and Dove. The Hawk and Dove song. The first time I heard Jim Martin's beautiful voice and Baltimore Foot Stompers. Anyway, that was a really good comp, and I finally got. I think Insurgents definitely needs a discography. That was Alicia, singer of 13. And anyway, back to the Flower record. I do like in that comparison to Amy or Alicia. I like the way the singer kind of is like just fitting in, like trying to fit in more lyrics than almost like fit, and it just sounds very punk to me. It's like loose. It's like hasty, and it sounds like kind of anxious. But there's a great metallic crust parts on this album too, and I really like it. This artwork kind of reminds me of the State of Fear Marald art. But anyway, it definitely has its own thing. I wouldn't say, you know, it's by no means like a ripoff of any of those comparisons. It definitely has its own thing.
I love the rushed vocals. Like I love, you know, wheezing more lines into that bar than belong there. That's big to me.
Super cool about that.
Personal opinion, maybe the best Profane Existence release in the last, 5 to 10 years. I love a lot of Profane Existence stuff. I've been, but that Flower record rules. That is
awesome. Yeah.
That's another one that's been talked about quite a lot. There's like a handful of records that have been talked about a lot recently. Electric Chair's one of them. Flower's another one of them.
Slim pickings for LPs this year is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I'm thinking Flower's going to be on a lot of people's top 10s at the end of the year as well.
Yeah,
and spot on with saying.
I'd love to catch them live here or there or anywhere.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool.
Yeah. I've seen some video and it looked great. Like they definitely bring it live as well.
For sure. I saw a crazy video today. This isn't really about Flower, but like Mike from Athens sent me a quick video, and it was like Pirkata Vulisi, who I think I showed their album last time, Fire at Will from Athens, and then Deathraid, and then another Athens band, and it was just absolutely fucking awesome, man. Like, I don't know. I've got to get over to Greece and play some shows.
Deathraid, they're a Swedish band, right?
Yeah, it's Poffin on vocals. And then Mattis from Macbard Finn, he started Scramble Records on guitar for that one.
All right. I just found their third album and ordered it online at Disc Union. Used, of course, but that might be in time for the next episode.
Nice.
Yeah, speaking of like vocal delivery, I find that like a lot of Greek punk has that kind of like, there's like a certain meter to it that is
Finnish punk,
very unique to that.
Greek, yeah.
To Greek bands like Pandemia and Anti-Mob.
Dirty Wombs.
Yeah.
No, that's a great band, man. Holy God.
Yeah. Greek punk definitely has its own unique sound for sure.
Oh, what the hell was I checking out the other day? It's a pretty cool band from Greece. You know, let's come back to it.
All right. Should I go ahead?
Yeah,
go for it.
Oh, yeah. The band I was listening to before I forget, the Greek crust band that you should probably check out, they're called Nekri Pateriga. So, yeah, okay. I think I sent you guys a link to that. Actually.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Definitely check that out. So they have an LP out. I think it's only digital so far, but that's mastered by Bry from Doom.
All right.
Just absolutely crushing black metal infused crust from Thessaloniki, I believe.
Cool. All right. God, it's my turn again. Cheers.
Yeah, good idea.
You know, I spend most of my free time in the evenings listening to a lot of records, and I've been listening to this record a lot in the last couple of months, but I keep putting it off to show on this show because I still haven't figured out like how to talk about it very well. But I'm just said fuck it, I'm going to show it today and let's see what happens. It's a great record. It's a little bit out of the punk and hardcore realm, but it does actually have the word punk on the hype sticker. I'll just show it. The name of the band is Avalanche Kaito, and it's on. Let me take the plastic off it. Avalanche Kaito is the name of the band. It's two guys from Belgium who are kind of like post-punk industrial guys, with a guy on vocals and lots of other instruments from Burkina Faso. So it's it's pretty crazy. So it's like this traditional music from that area of the world kind of melded and forged and mixed in with like very bleak, menacing, like industrial post-punk with lots of analog instruments and like some electronica in there and psychedelia, and it's kind of all over the map. It's very aggressive. This is not your kind of like world of music of the 80s that's kind of happy and danceable. This is very bleak and mean and cold. It's got an amazing gatefold.
Sounds great.
It's fucking amazing.
I'm being sincere.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. As I said, I've been putting off showing this because I'm just really having trouble describing it. Kind of do it justice, you know what I mean, with words, because it's kind of hard. Great, like psychedelic gatefold sleeve.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've never heard of that, but it sounds kind of cool.
It's
I'm sorry, what was it? Avalanche
Records.
You hooked me with Psych. I'm into that. So
I mean, there's a lot going on. There's like post-punk, industrial, psychedelic, all thrown in there.
Very cool.
But I guess I would say the main guy of this band is really the vocalist guy, Kaito. Obviously, the band is named after him, Avalanche Kaito. He plays the flute sometimes, like in a crazed Ian Anderson style way. But
very cool.
Way crazier though than that. He does the same techniques as that, with the singing and the playing the flute at the same time. I've seen comparisons to like Can and Black Midi. I don't agree with any of that. I don't think it sounds anything like either of those bands. It's just crazy music mixing like post-punk and like these traditional sounds from Burkina Faso. Glitterbeat Records puts out a lot of contemporary African music in this kind of vein. There's a couple of guys. There's one guy from the X, the Dutch anarcho band, that kind of is very heavily involved with a lot of this stuff. So I feel that's kind of an X influence in all this like modern. This like it happens. This this new music, this modern kind of African music. There's a lot of this, the X and post punk just mixed up with the traditional music. So great record.
So world music that does not sound like Enigma.
Exactly. You know, back in the day, I was going to kind of go off on a tangent. Back in the day, you'd go to like the World Music Festival, WOMAD, at like Glastonbury, and all the middle class people thinking they were down with the, with the culture, dancing around to these like happy.
You're talking about Graceland, the album, my friend.
This is not Graceland. Okay. This is punk, in a different way to some of the records we talked about, but absolutely killer record. It's probably not going to get a lot of love from our community, but should do, because I think people would like this record.
I'm into whatever, so I just haven't heard of it. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of, it's on Glitter Beat. They have their own kind of community going on.
That's a killer label name, my friend.
You know what? I don't know if you guys remember Glitter Best. That's the old German label that they did like a lot of punk stuff back in the day.
I think I've got a Pistol single maybe or something.
They did a lot of like big name punk. I think they put out Nirvana in Germany like back in the day and did like a lot.
Did they do that weird Nirvana bootleg?
No, this is a legit label, Glitter Best. And so Glitter Beat is an offshoot of Glitter Best. So they kind of started off in the kind of punk world anyway. So
were they German or were they France?
It's a German label, I believe. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking they put out a French Pistol 7-inch or something.
They've done a lot of kind of more major, big name punk stuff. Glitter Beat Glitter Best, back in the day. But yeah, there you go. Avalanche Kaito, self-titled album from last year. This is from last year. So there you go.
Nice.
Something new.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely check that out, man. Thanks.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool record. Yeah. All right, we've lost Jason. He'll be back, I'm sure. Okay, Matt, what's your second pick of the day?
Number 2. I tried to pick, 5 records that all fit in the, the punk, under the punk heading. But I wanted to pick, 5 different styles of punk, 5 different, kind of separate entities. So, number 2, Devil Master.
Oh, awesome, dude.
It's the Children of Light.
That's a cool
kind of a black metal punk hardcore, also Japanese hardcore, very much influence in there. With keyboards, some very trebly guitars from Philly. Is that right?
Yeah. Philly for sure.
This their first 12-inch Manifestations, which is actually like 2 tapes, 2 7-inches put onto 1 12-inch. Was my record of the year when that came out. This was my record of the year this came out. And their third album was my record of the year last year.
Wow.
These guys absolutely are turning my crank right now for whatever reason. I've never really heard anything that quite sounds just like this. I've listened to lots of black metal. I've listened to lots of punk. I've listened to lots of Japanese stuff.
At the same time, though, it's still strangely familiar, no?
No, you're right. It's still hitting all the marks. But
weird.
I don't think there's anything else that sounds quite like that. Just the way it is. It's
Devil Master's campiness is awesome as well.
Yeah.
Who's that? Sorry.
Their campiness, their wearing of capes and making like 90s looking videos and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure.
They're like everything surrounding that band is just. I don't know.
Everything looks like it's off an old 7th generation VHS tape.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good look.
It's
funny because it works.
As a kind of older person, I'm a little bit wary of like kind of younger bands doing like a retro stuff, but they absolutely nail it. They're incredible, and I think the guitarist is one of their like secret weapons.
He's playing way up on the neck. He's trebly, kind of staccato.
Yeah,
there's nobody like it's just there's nothing else going on that sounds like that.
Yeah,
and it's just totally nailing it for me.
Dude's a total face, man. He crushes guitar.
And I guess some of those cats were in like Blank Spell. Some of them, I think one of the guys is in Spider, maybe currently.
He is.
It definitely come from some pretty cool bands in the past.
I didn't even realize that connection. I got the Devil Master tape through MRR, like back when we had the demo bin, and I just look, you just look through and you're like, oh, this is either going to be terrible and really corny or it's going to fucking rule. And both of those examples, the Devil Master was like a purple tape, and then the Blank Spell. They both floored me in the same way Mike just said, doing that old school thing, but doing it like really well.
Yeah.
I booked Blank Spell and Haldol here years ago because they share a member and they were doing a tour together, but Blank Spell fell off the tour, sadly. But Haldol were incredible.
Haldol.
Someone say Blank Spell. That sounds appealing. I'd like to check out that band for sure.
Yeah, that stuff was really good.
Yeah, was it World Gone Mad? Is that Aaron's label? Does that sound right? World Gone Mad Records?
Yes.
I think that's Aaron Mechanic's label. He was in Haldol, and I believe he's in Blank Spell.
Okay. Cool.
That's pretty cool. Right on, man. Yeah, Devil Master. I think they played Toronto last year. I missed that show, but I heard really good things live too.
They've been to Toronto once or twice. I remember some of the maybe Death Exclamations maybe opened for them their first time in Toronto.
I'm not sure. I was trying to get some of the guys on equalizingXdistort. Like a lot of those dudes, like hardcore, right? Like I don't know, like straight edge hardcore and shit like that. So I was trying to show them Devil Master, and one of the guys who's like a little bit like less into that kind of hardcore and more into punk shit was like, I totally saw Devil Master last year, and they're just amazing. So
it's a full respect for like bringing all those like influences together and making it work in such a spectacular way. It's pretty hard to do, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
making black metal. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You wouldn't think you could take like Gizm and Darkthrone and just throw that together, and it would sound amazing. But here we are, it
sounds like a kind of recipe for disaster in the wrong hands, right? But it works with them.
There was another one, the Executioner or something. I don't know. It was like a similar time period, but it also reminded me a lot of like Gizm, just like lo-fi, blackened, death beat stuff.
A really great band that sounds kind of like Gizm to me is a band that Luke from Bombardement was in, called Sexplosion. Really surprising. That sounds pretty Gizmy too. And another good one that's kind of more current is Sex Virgin Killer. That has that whole kind of visual K look to it, right?
They're from around here, around these parts. Yeah.
I talked to... Who did I talk to from that band? I think I talked to Lily from Lily Soundloom. So I was letting her know that we were playing some of their stuff on the radio, and we exchanged a couple of emails. But really, really nice people.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
Oh, is it my go?
Yes! You're up, my friend. You're up. You'll go.
Well,
let's
before somebody else pulls out a record that I'm going to show, I'm going to bust out this one that Mike should know pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Tiikeri.
I don't
Punk
often
rock
go.
Pamaus. So this album is a love song to punk, basically, from beginning to end. Do you guys know Tiikeri, Matt or Jason?
I don't.
So it's basically Finnish power pop.
Love song.
It's basically Finnish power pop, but it's just unbelievably good. All the songs are basically about punk.
Oh,
like they talk about punk so much, talk about like the Sex Pistols and shit in songs. I don't speak Finnish and I can still pick it out. But it's just like all the punk. I can't see the album.
That's a good one. I like that. 013.
I'm sorry, I'm like cheating, but when you said Finnish pop punk 013, this just it's just so fucking catchy.
The band that they remind me the most of isn't even Finnish. They remind me of the American band Nancy.
You said that to me, yeah, which I'd never heard of.
Yeah, that's like a two-piece from New York City. But again, they have that kind of really kitschy power pop feel to them. But it's just, I don't know. It's a really upbeat album. It's a really uplifting album.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. It's the feel-good album of the summertime.
It really is. It's everyone will love this album. If you think you don't, even if you think you don't like punk, I played to people who don't like punk. They're like, "What's this? I love this. What is this?"
Is this
Oh, yeah.
One of
current?
those kind of
A
records.
brand new band?
Yeah,
It
Just came out, brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, so A to Z Records, I think, did it, and Black Hole.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe?
But
No, Vox Populi.
yes, I was gonna say because they're killing it this year with like the Plastic Tones and that record.
If you look at the back too, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a connect the dots mohawk on this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing is just amazing. There's like a fanzine in there, which is also really well done. It's funny though, Chris, because when Punk and Destroy, had this on their website, they were like comparing it to the Blue Hearts. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Blue Hearts. The band in Japan. Everyone loves the Blue Hearts in Japan. They're a kind of punk band, but no, everyone from the age of 7 to 70 loves the Blue Hearts. And it was funny. I was playing that record to someone here who doesn't like punk, and they were like, "What's this? Reminds me of the Blue Hearts." So that description was obviously right on the money because it's got that very familiar feel, like almost like childlike melodies to it. It's like very, very simple, but like
childlike. They have a section on the album where it's like na 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 na, like a massive section. It goes on for like a minute. I do have to kind of tune out for that one.
This
part.
sounds like a really fun album.
I mean, honestly,
it's awesome, man.
I'm kind of a cynical, like negative kind of a guy. That record will just like make your day. It will just immediately cheer you up and make you feel good.
I'm pretty sold on them. I'm pretty sold.
I'm already sold.
Oh man, that's not like
sounds
I like
something I need right now.
And it is kind of a universal record. Like,
yeah,
I sent my, how old is he now? Anyway, I sent my father a track from that song, and he was just like, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Tiikeri." Yeah. He said, "How do I listen to more of it?" So
wow.
I was able to find a digital copy, download it just to send it to him, and I did.
Yeah.
And now when he's in the garden, he can listen to some Tiikeri and rock the fuck out.
Absolutely, man. Anybody can love this record, but it's still like 100% punk. But anyone can love it.
It's great. Like, I don't know. I
mean, just talking about it's like cheering me up. It's that good.
Me too. Honestly, I've been listening to it like way too often. Pretty much even before the album came out and there was a teaser, I was just listening to the teaser on repeat. And I think there's like some of these songs like came from their original single that I think came out last year as well.
All right.
So
let's hold it up one more time so everyone gets the name of the band and the name of the record.
Yeah, for sure. So that's Tiikeri. It means tiger.
That's it. Yeah.
That's adorable.
This
sounds like the kind of record like
the tiger in the top.
Definitely want to check this out. Like it'll go on the turntable and it'll stay there.
Yeah, it's one of those.
All week. Like
it's
just
one of those.
One of those. Yeah, like that. The 013 gives that like that for me. And then I'm like, okay, I've had enough of it. But it's not like I'm sick of it. I'm just like I can't just keep listening to this all week.
It's also one of those records where like you can't follow it with anything else. It's just like
it's
I'm gonna just watch. I'm just gonna not listen to anything for the rest of the night.
I played it on air on the radio. Usually, I like to like open the entire show with it or something like that, just so nothing's after it, right?
Right.
Because it'll fuck your day up if you're trying to put a set list together.
That's cool, man.
One of the best songs on it too is called "Punk on Moon Ilama." So that means "Punk is my life." So that tells you a lot about this album right off the bat.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, Tiger.
Steady Tiger.
Oh yeah,
Tiger.
All right.
That's good.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm sorry. What year is it from?
2023.
This year.
Oh, right.
Just came out.
That's like another beautiful thing about it. It's the new record that everybody. I hope it's still available. I think it's kind of out there, right?
I think I found distribution in the States for it yesterday. I got my copy from your buddy Jackie.
Yeah, I got mine from Punk and Destroy. But it's a Japanese label, right? Vox Populi, run by the singer of Schizophrenia. So
yeah, Revenge.
Oh yeah, I saw that band at that Hokage show that I ended up at. Schizophrenia, fantastic.
Rule.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He's responsible for 2 of my favorite records of the year so far. That one, and then the Plastic Tones record, which is like Finnish power pop. Anyway, I've talked about that record too much already. The Plastic Tones one, that's also amazing. So
I'll send you guys the link in our chat or something.
Yeah.
See if you can grab some copies.
Buying records on the internet.
All right, Jason.
Okay, yeah, my second record. I showed The Flower, which had like such amazing artwork. This is my first time on, so I definitely wanted to talk about one of my favorite records, and I have been listening to it again, and it just has fantastic artwork as well.
Oh, killer! Yeah,
Ebola.
nice.
Yeah.
You have at least two. I think everybody here loves Ebola, man. That band's
It's
silly.
shit. I fucking loved this record when it came out, and I wanted to bring it up. Flat Earth Records at the time was like anything on Flat Earth Records. I just needed it. This is like, I think that I was watching a show Andy was on, and he was just bringing up that like there was a lot of blast beats and like crust at that time, but Ebola also plays like certain drum beats that almost sound like a Crass style. It's the production, everything's much heavier, obviously. And then their later EPs kind of went into like more power violence sound. But this particular record, Incubation, 1996, it's got it's chock full with the samples and everything. It comes with like that. This is back when the records would come with like a book, just like a huge book with like things to get you stoked on like what was going on like politically and like what punk was passionate about, and like you had to look at tangible booklets and such. Like I didn't have the internet, I didn't have a TV. This is what I had to look at and like imagine. So anyway, that album is just fucking awesome to me. The vocalist Karen, who was in One by One, I think she's just like one of the best vocalists ever. And I think Andy was in Endless Blockade after that.
Okay, yeah.
And I think his name was Mick, was in Jinn, as in Jinn.
Are you kidding me? That one of those guys went on to Endless Blockade?
Yeah. Back in
I think we're talking a different Endless Blockade.
I think yes.
Oh.
Yes.
We're not talking Matthew's Endless Blockade.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah, they're from these guys like the Newcastle area, I believe.
Yeah, you're talking the Toronto band, Christian.
I am, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my second record.
It's awesome, man. Ebola's killing.
Yeah. There's a copy like right back here somewhere behind my head.
Yeah. And then
I think I've seen it.
What's that?
There's the
Right. Yeah, there.
There you go.
I thought you were going to flip me off for a
EP
minute.
that came out after this, and it had like the really weird. It had like kind of these like organs in it and such, and that was fantastic too.
I mean, Flat Earth Records were really, an extremely important label in the UK at that time. Like
Sned. He would always, I'd get like a friendly note from Sned in Westchester, New York. I don't know. It just felt like cool to be like connected. Not the way we're connected now on this, or we're connected on social media and we're all joking around, and it was that was the way like you would connect with like these bands, and this will always be like an important album for me.
I mean, very like a true DIY label as opposed to some of the other bigger the labels that had like big distribution and like with Revolver, and that's another whole conversation. But they were 100% sort of DIY record label, not like In Your Face or Meantime, who kind of slightly bigger operations going at the same time. Lots of stuff going on in the UK, like late 80s and through the 90s. So much good stuff, right?
Well, was it Sned that went on to play in like some of those like noise punk bands like Formby Channel?
I think that is Sned, yeah.
Yeah, there's like
he was in Gruel too. Was that his project?
He's been in a lot of bands, yeah.
Pleasant Valley Children.
Pleasant
Valley Children. He's like, you're not gonna like this. I was in this. I'm gonna just send it to you for free anyway because you seem to like a lot of my stuff. And I was like, this is great. I think this is awesome.
It's like kind of twisted Black Flag kind of stuff, right? Pleasant Valley Children, kind of.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. Oh, where's Christian? He's gone. That's okay. All right. Hey, there you go. It's a little.
flashbacks for $15. Can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for that like double LP discography that's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I managed to get them from Havoc years ago.
Yeah.
I would like that too. I have the EPs, but yeah, they're like number one. I think I just up there with Ebola for me.
All right. Yeah,
I'm bringing all my favorites to your show, Mike. This is my first time. I'm way too excited.
What better thing to do than bring your favorite records out? So you can't.
Yeah, something new, something old.
One comes back, the one goes again.
Yeah.
I learned from last time. It's better to be comfortable.
True.
Much better to be comfortable because then I can actually think about what I'm seeing and hearing.
Don't be uncomfortable. Be comfortable.
Last time I was just like, oh my god. It's too much. It's trying to keep up with drinking water with people drinking beer. It's a deadly game, man.
Okay.
I'm like, I have a laptop on like a fold out card table. This is not where I like sit. I just like, Mike had asked like, I don't know, show your records behind you. And I was like,
that was
I'm like in the middle of the room. Like,
I'm glad you took my off the cuff comment to heart. And like, it's always cool when you can like see people's records like behind them. It's kind of cool.
I'll show you guys maybe after.
All right.
Maybe after the show, I'll show you guys
all right.
The fucking.
I think Matt has more records than all of us combined.
You think?
I mean, I suppose I can tell.
Oh, it's insane, man. Just a couple, yeah.
Just a couple.
I'm right around 15,000.
You're right around having to reinforce your floor.
I'm in the basement. All's good.
I think that
there you go, man.
When I would go to the MRR headquarters, I think it was somewhere around 45,000, and I know what that looks like. So if you have a third of that, it's a lot.
What's that behind you, Matt? How many?
8,000, maybe 8,500 LPs, something like that.
Cool.
And then like the rest would be 10 inches,
Cool.
7. You know?
Not too bad, right there.
Cool.
All right.
And it's probably like maybe 75% punk, maybe 15% metal, and then I got like a lot of like scores, soundtracks. I love horror movie scores, synthwave stuff.
I do too. I like both of those genres.
I have two sections that are both of those things: soundtracks, movies, even some game soundtracks.
Yeah, me too.
And then I
like
like some of those. Like I don't have like a ton, but I like it. And what did you say? Oh yeah, this is kind of like a synth, more like ambient section, which isn't huge either, but they just need to be separate. Like if I'm in the mood for that, I'm in the mood for that.
I don't separate by genre. It's alphabetical.
Nice. I can respect that.
And then like soundtracks are on their own, splits are on their own, and comps are on their own. Cool. But otherwise, it's like A to Z for like a straight LP.
Did you say Blitz? But you did. What did
Splits.
Just Blitz albums.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Blitz.
I've got my own Blitz shelf.
They deserve their own section.
Splits and comps are together.
I don't
How
organize
do you categorize a split, right? Whose band name do you put it under? So I just put them all together. Like,
yeah.
All right.
I have no rhyme or reason. It's funny. It's kind of bad. With my record collection, if you were to look at it, you'd be like, I have no idea where to start.
But you know where it is.
If you ask me for where an album is, I'll just be like, yeah, it's right here. No worries. So like I kind of know based off what layer of shit they're in. I'll show you guys later. It's a really disturbing way to house albums.
Yeah,
my CDs are color coordinated. So it's like it's like black. It's like 3 shelves of black, white, and primary colors. And then like they kind of
I love it. Yeah.
But like I'm like, okay, I know the binding is like orangish red. It's around here somewhere. Because I don't know.
This brings me back to the Orange Temple.
There you go.
Yeah.
And wait, stop it right there. This also links into my next pick. That word.
Orange.
Yes.
Do you have a rhyme for it?
Wait, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Orange is going to come in my next description, my next record. My third pick is from Japan. 1990. Like, you guys all love Japanese hardcore, right? Everyone watching probably loves Japanese hardcore, but I feel like this album could still be under some people's radars because it was mine back then. It took me a while to kind of find out about it. I was first given a copy on compact disc, and I have a compact disc that I'm going to show first. See if you know what it is. This.
Is it Boris?
No, it's old. It's like 1990.
90.
I'm really glad that nobody knows what this is. This makes it much more exciting.
Oh, it's hands. I couldn't even make out the picture.
Yeah, it's hands.
Oh, I can see the wrists now.
The name of the band is L.O.X. The L standing for lip cream. The O standing for orange, which is a kind of obscure band, but we'll get to that in a minute. And the X, it's Japan, so X standing for
the
X.
The metal band?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, right? Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, so okay, it's a bit of a story of this, right? So I was sent this in like 1991. It's basically like a super group, like a Japanese super group. So the original singer of this band was Masami from Ghoul, who mapped originally, but he got sick, and so they put this album together with guest vocalists. So, but there's a core members. The three core members are Naoki from Lip Cream, the L. The O is this guy, Act, who played in this band called Orange with Sakavi from Gizm, I think. It's a kind of obscure thing. And then the X is for the drummer of X, Yoshiki, under a pseudonym because he was under contract with X, so he wasn't legally supposed to be playing on this record. So he's the drummer, so you can imagine how amazing the drumming is on this. So it's like, and then they got like guest vocalists on different songs. So
that guy is a fantastic drummer.
It's amazing.
I don't know a lot about X, but I know the drummer is fucking great.
I mean, if you imagine him playing like hardcore punk, which he does on this record, you can imagine how fucking amazing it is. Like, and even like some D-beat kind of stuff in there. But like, yeah, so the core members are these three guys, and they got like guest vocalists. So Naoki from Lip Cream sings one song. That's like a hardcore song. And then the singer of X sings two songs. And then Ishia from Deathside like sings one song.
Yeah.
And then the singer of Tetsuare sings one song.
Dude, this show is awesome.
You guys don't know this? I'm really happy.
I've never heard of that before. But
this is okay. Bear with me because it gets better. Like, and then like Ranko from the Continental Kids Kyoto band, she sings one song. That's could be my favorite song. So you've got like three straight ahead like hardcore punk songs, and everything else is like a mix of punk, rock, or metal, all on this like one record from like 1990. So Ishia, Butaman from Tetsuare.
Crazy.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I'm showing the CD, which is like really the first part of this story. I thought it was like CD only for years. And one day about 15 years ago, I was in like this random record store and I was like flicking through like the indie section. I was like, oh Jesus, what's this? And it was released on vinyl with completely
L.O.X.
different artwork. It's like the silver obi. It's embossed.
That's sick, man.
You can kind of see the hands on here. It's kind of different. It's like a double LP on 45, so it sounds amazing. It's on Sunshine Sherbet, which put out like the Tetsuare first record.
This is beautiful looking.
It's beautiful. And it's got like
sleeve there.
Tetsuare is a really strange band name, but they rip, man.
Hey, look at that! Check out this.
This is your second like gorgeous gatefold.
It kind of looks similar to that Kaito Avalanche thing, which is also kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's great. So I'm really happy that you guys kind of didn't know about this because it's amazing. It's like hardcore punk, rock, heavy metal. This kind of Japanese supergroup.
Is it like highly sought after?
You know what? This is a weird one. I think the vinyl was like super limited, but ex-Japan fans, when they found out about this record, were blown away. It's kind of a rarity for like ex-fans, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you know that Yoshiki played on this like hardcore punk record and under a pseudonym and all this kind of stuff? And I think when ex-Japan fans found out about this record, they were kind of blown away. So there's a bit of a demand for it because, it's got two members of X playing on it. But
I'll keep my eye peeled for that.
You can
I
definitely
doubt I'll
find the
it in
CD
Canada.
easily, but the LP is a little hard. I'm showing this because I recently found it again on vinyl, so I've been listening to it a lot recently. But it's kind of a classic that's a little bit under the radar, maybe still for people. So
it blows my mind. That kind of reminds me of that Charmy record I think I showed you a couple of years ago.
Right.
That's super fucked up though. It's not good.
No, this is
this looks good.
This is really, really good. But you got to be a little bit open to some rock and some metal and some not just straightforward hardcore. But
well, that's what kind of reminded me of the Charmy thing, is because it kind of goes between genres like that, and it's coming from a punk background, right?
This is good though, and like
exactly. So there's that.
But this is good.
It's got like
really cool, though,
like crazy lip cream guitar soloing all over it, and that's Yoshiki's crazy drumming.
They're all like doing their own thing, but they're doing it together.
Very, very cool. There's some live footage with the singer of Judgment singing a song with them too on YouTube.
That's killer.
Wow.
I like how sometimes like I've never really seen it over here, but I've seen a few Japanese bands even recently have featured vocalists.
Right.
Like who was that? Was that Moonscape?
Oh, I'm not sure. I know the reason.
Or was it Clons? No,
great.
it was Clons.
Clons. Okay.
So Clons had the singer of Moonscape, and they had the singer Aisha, who's in Ignition Block M, and I think now Sex Virgin Killer as well.
Okay.
Really cool vocalist, really cool lyricist as well. Anyway,
no.
But that's awesome, man. I'm definitely checking out that L.O.X.
L.O.X. Shake Hand is the name.
Shake Hand.
Shake Hand from 1990. Lost in the mist of time. I just always figure that people that like lip cream, who want to kind of find out something that Naoki did, or Deathside fans, or it's a kind of real interesting, strange thing that they did in like 1990. So there you go.
I'm really interested in that now, but like I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was younger, when I thought of the idea of like super groups and punk, I was immediately like.
I mean, this is like they only did it because Masami was sick.
But I'm into it now.
Yeah. So
sorry, what were you saying? They did it because what?
Masami from Ghoul was dying, so he couldn't sing on it, and so they got guest vocalists instead of him. Like he was supposed to be the singer of this band, so
that's really tragic.
That's how it came to be, like that, right? So yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That was a huge buzzkill, Mike. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think that I mentioned that at the beginning. Oh, that actually, Brian. There's some moments that are kind of similar. I would say this record is better than the Masami solo record, but yeah, absolutely, you're in the right ballpark. All right,
check it out.
Matt, what are we on? Third pick of the day?
Yeah, number 3.
Sure.
This is Eastern Canadian. Probably the best D-beat crust band ever to come out of Eastern Canada.
Oh.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Got that one.
Mindless Condition. I've had the pleasure to play a couple of shows with these guys over the years. Absolutely phenomenal live. They played with Doom in Halifax a number of years ago, and Doom couldn't stop saying great things about them on stage. They are just unstoppable. Excellent musicians. I mean, Tom, the bass player in Napalm Raid, was in the Parasites from Montreal. He's currently in War Crusher. Graham, the drummer, was in Holocaust, and he's Ritual Warfare now out of Halifax. Clancy's actually out west now, but they're still an active band. They got a show coming up in June, kind of a one-off, and Clancy's flying home for a week or something. But this thing is unstoppable. Just a crusher of a D-beat crust record. They got that 80s kind of Scandinavian sound on the recording just right, with the kind of reverby vocals and the really shrill guitar and just a booming kind of echoey drum. Just fantastic. The video for Why, I've watched that, played that over and over and over and over on YouTube over the years.
I don't think I've ever seen the video.
Yeah, it's just a jam space, a black and white jam space video, but it works with the song really well. It's shot really nice.
That's still pretty cool.
That's an absolute crusher of a record.
Agreed. It's a go-to for me. Definitely agreed. One of the best DB bands out of Canada ever. And I did see the flyer for that one-off show that they're doing. And I'm super kind of bummed that I'm not going to be out there. What's that?
With Black Dog, like on your T-shirt.
That's right. Yeah, man, that's going to be insane. Kind of bummed I'm not going to be there.
I may have to go to Halifax for that one.
I was thinking about driving, man. It's not all that bad. You guys have driven for like a day before, right? I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were going to say
like 28 hours.
I thought you were going to say Decontrol because it's one of the
man,
Canadian
Decontrol is
I know.
Saskatchewan, and that's like that's killer. Yeah, you saw. I shouldn't give away too many spoilers. I'm playing Decontrol on my radio show this week.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I sent you the set list the other day.
You did.
Yeah. Awesome pick, Matt. Yeah, I never even thought about busting out a Napalm Raid album. It's just so crucial to have. So crucial.
I think I'll listen to that tomorrow.
As well later, which is we'll see. All right, Christian, what's your third pick? Third pick of the day.
Okay, I'll do an interesting one for my third pick. You guys ever listen to doom metal?
Sure.
How about
some of it?
How about black metal?
Some of it.
Yeah, me too. I don't really listen to too much of like one thing. But here we go. This is a band called Eremit.
Oh.
And if you check out the art, woo, it's a shiny one.
Cool.
That is cool.
The orientation is backwards for me, so please bear with me.
No, it's fine. It looks great. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, so it's called Bearer of Many Names. So this is, check this out, a 3-song double LP.
Okay, having trouble with the math.
So they have one track that's like
how do they do that?
just under 30 minutes. Another one that's like, I don't know, just under 20. I think another 2 that are just under 20 minutes. So they kind of average out around 20 minutes a song. It's like really kind of distorted doom metal, almost sludgy. Kind of reminds me of stuff like Asunder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm a massive Asunder fan back in the day. It's not as good as Asunder, I gotta say. I don't know. You can be as good as Asunder. Okay, so the nice cover. It is a nice cover, and the reason why that is this album came out on a very interesting record label, at least interesting to me. It's called Transcending Obscurity Records. So have you guys ever heard of that record label? It's based out of Mumbai.
Oh.
So that's an Indian record label. And they gifted me a sweet flag. I was almost going to put it up, and it's like a fucking death metal Lord Ganesha in the middle of it. It's pretty sweet.
Wow.
But yeah, so this guy who runs Transcending Obscurity Records, his covers are just like far out, man. Like he uses like metal foil like as much as possible. Kind of. It gets a bit ridiculous at times, but it's a shame he's not putting out more bands from India. I don't really think that they have like a very big death metal scene in India. I've tried to look into it many times, and I've never really found anything of note.
Yeah.
But he puts out lots of Swedish bands, German bands. This band's from Germany, and like I was saying, it's doom, but it's also very black metal, and it's also very death metal. And when I say it's like very black metal, it stops being doom pretty fast, and the drums pick up, and it's just like that blast beat, alternating blast beat that you used to hear in black metal or death metal. So it kind of does drone on, but I've been listening to it this week a lot. So
I mean, yeah, I do like this idea of some tempo changes here and there, you know, like especially if the song's 30 minutes, like I think it can go through some cool chapters like that. So it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I also have it digitally. So one way that I've been listening to it is I have to deal with a terrible commute. It takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get home every day. So I can more than listen to the Eremit album on my commute.
Right.
Yeah, but hard not to fall asleep while driving.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Nice.
I tend to really like my black metal on the kind of epic, atmospheric side, where there are 12-minute long songs and 15-minute long songs. That's I think that really works well.
So there's tons of black metal atmosphere with this band, but they don't do the whole like building of an atmosphere. They kind of just like throw it in your face all of a sudden, and it really doesn't sit too well with me. But again, I've been listening to this album a lot this week. Not the best, not the worst. Worth a listen for sure.
Cool.
Definitely an interesting band, but check it out. Yeah, Eremit.
Nice.
And yeah, definitely a Conan-looking logo too.
Someone said that right.
Yeah. Sure. Totally Conan.
I like that cover. It's cool.
Fuck, I should have just picked a Conan album.
That cover art was super cool. It's like a swamp. I don't know. I'm a sucker for like a swamp cover or like
me too. And
like
look at the beast thing on the front cover. Right? So that's what got me is like this like weird alien thing that this spaceship is kind of encountering out in the bog. Is
right. That's
I guess that itself is the bearer of many names. So that kind of falls into like some weird lore of some sort. So that appeals to my like extremely nerdy Dungeons and Dragons kind of mentality without actually playing Dungeons and Dragons, but liking the idea.
Right, yeah, I'd rather. I don't want to play for 8 hours, but I'll listen to a 30-minute song about trolls and swamps. So would you say the lyrical content, the songs are kind of in that style?
Okay, so
I can't remember if you said there was vocals.
So right off the bat, I'm terrible with vocals. Outside of, for some fucked up reason, hip-hop music and reggae. I'm really good at picking up the lyrics there. But most punk I listen to, and that's one reason why I can really jam out to international punk, I can't understand the vocals very well unless I read what's in the lyric book. Just doesn't click with me. I don't know why. So I'm not really too sure of the lyrical content, but my guess is it's pretty ethereal and pretty bleak.
Yeah.
Put it on right after Tiger.
Yeah, no, it's a weird mix. So this is why you need bands like Tiikeri, right? So you listen to like a really kind of dowdy, doom, black metal, atmospheric album like that, and then throw on Tiikeri, you'll feel much better.
I dig it, man.
Again, I can't recommend Tiikeri. Like, I should have just like shown Tiikeri 5 times tonight. That's the best album that's come out this year by far, man. Like, it's
like
just
a different style than you've described, but like once I heard and got into Blood Incantation, like that kind of thing of like the cosmic, ethereal, like super psychedelic, like.
I've seen people shit on Blood Incantation lately, and I don't understand why. I like their whole sci-fi vibe to them too.
Because they got too popular, Christian. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I think Mike's right. They're too good.
Okay, fair enough.
They're too nice.
Well, they were cool. They were cool when I was slightly younger.
I don't. Is that not cult enough to bring up? But whatever. I think
BI is awesome, man. I have a fucking Blood Incantation T-shirt that has like Saturn with like a skull ring around it, and I was just like, man, this is like the most badass merch I've seen from a band.
That Time Wave Zero 12-inch where they just did a 12-inch with 2 songs. That's like, synthwave on both sides is fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
Tangerine Dream style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking Tangerine Dream as well, but bleak death metal.
What's that Last Asunder album that came out that has like a 50-minute song on it? Or like Mike, you said you were listening to Boris, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, they have songs that just are pure drone. I was into drone music for a while. Like Lamont Young, have you guys ever heard that stuff? It goes back to the 20s. Some of the earliest drone music out there. It's really good. Anyway, all that amplifier worship shit. But this is nothing like it. They're much dirtier and, I don't know, slower. Almost.
I'm intrigued.
I will have to check out all these.
Yeah, I would. It's worth your time.
Jason, what's your...
Okay, this is my third pick. I'm kind of like trying to feel it out, like a little bit of an intermission from the what did I do so far? Punk crust, fucking metal. Anyway, this is Parole e Azioni. I don't know, but the point is, at Manic Relapse, I saw this band, Ses Cadavres, and I wanted to get, and so they were like, it was more like synth, like dark wave synth music, but it was like, it had like a punk sensibility and style to it, and the delivery of the two vocalists was kind of goth punk, and I was like, this is great. And it was like, it was between like Languid and hardcore bands, so it was like a cool intermission as well. So anyway, nobody had any music merch at that particular, like, they just, I don't know, like everybody had ran out or whatever. I tried to get the tape and it was like $50. There's only like 50 of them made or whatever. But anyway, I came across this record label, Deathraid in Berlin. And they put out this Paroli Azioni. Their demo was featured on the other side of the Ses Cadavres demo, and they had several series of this. They did it like, they've done it like 4 times. So I was able to pick it up for $18 or whatever. And I ended up liking this band and its side even better than the recording of Ses Cadavres, which is also great. Like, both are awesome, but it's like that. It's kind of Kraftwerky. It's kind of, but darker. Awesome. It definitely has like a weird kind of goth vocal delivery. And everything on this label, they had like a bundle you could buy of just post-punk bands that they put out out of this Berlin label. I'd never heard of any of it, so I ordered that bundle, and everything was great. So like, I was really into that record label, and I definitely recommend, if you like, there was this German band called Rheingold. It's kind of like synthy, Kraftwerky kind of thing, but this is all way darker and gothier. Even sometimes it feels a little like carnival-y or something. So yeah, it's like, get into some of that like dark synth stuff. So I thought this was a great one.
Where are they from?
They're also from Berlin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right on. One more time, could you pop that up?
Yeah, sorry.
Parole
Azioni.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me, for sure.
This graphic aesthetic is like what the label does too. It's like everything is kind of listed similarly, and there's this like posterized threshold stampiness to all their artwork, which I think is kind of cool, the way they're showing up that way. But I would say it's like synth punk, but yeah, I mean, if you're in the mood for some of that more, you brought up like industrial sounds are kind of coming back, I think, but like they're kind of dealt with in a more punk way. Even if the people are playing like traditional like drums, there's something about like the way it's set up, like there's like effects on it or something. But yeah, it's a good one.
That's a cool pick. That's something you need to check out for me, for sure.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
That sounds pretty exciting to me. I think that'll be something
cool, guys. Thanks.
I like grew up as a massive Kraftwerk fan. That was one of the only non-punk bands I was into as a teenager.
Yeah,
gotta say, fun on the Autobahn. Right? Actually, I remember hearing like Pocket Calculator even back to when like I was like a little kid.
That was one of the first Kraftwerk songs I heard, and I just fucking loved it.
Love it. Have you heard the Japanese version of it? It's in the Japanese language.
No, I don't think I have.
It's on the Japanese pressing of that album. It's the Japanese language version. It's great.
Or just even like that, like the normal sound. I feel like this band has that kind of minimal punk synth thing, and I think the vocalist is like a weird, echoey, almost Christian Death-ish, but
very cool.
It's like kind of like asexual. Like, I don't know. It's just like this aura or something. It's cool. Like amorphous person.
I think that's not a bad comparison to like Roz.
Yeah.
Very cool, man.
Nice. Okay, so
I'll
from
have to
something,
check that out.
yeah, me too. Yeah, nice. So from something that like has us all intrigued to something that probably everyone here's heard before, and are thinking, why the hell is he showing this? Well, I'm showing it because it's new to me. You know, I found the record like actually last week in used bin in Disc Union in Osaka. I kind of just liked the look of the record before I even knew what it was. And then when I looked down at the bottom and I saw like what the two bands were, I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect it to be this kind of music. I'm talking about D-beat here, D-beat music, but this record doesn't look like your stereotypical kind of like D-beat record. One band's from the USA, one band's from Sweden. I'm way behind the times with this stuff. I accept that, but I'm going to show it anyway because I have been listening to this a lot. Anybody guess what it is yet? It's like this fucking thing. Deathraid, Desperat.
Oh yeah.
I don't have that one.
I mean, I thought it was like a doom metal album on like Rise Above Records or a prog record, and then I was like, this is great. It's like the non-stereotypical.
I think mine's a different cover. Mine's different art.
I think originally it came out on a different label in the States. I might have jotted this down.
Yeah, mine doesn't look like that, but
yeah.
So it came out on World Funeral Records in the US, and then this is the Detakt and Rapunk, like Swedish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
version. They kind of went to town on this. It's like really, really expensive.
Polish?
No, it's like one Detakt and Rapunk is Swedish. Deathraid are American. Of course, it's like X.
Sure.
I mean, basically, we're talking about like Jay Styles here, right?
State of Fear.
Yeah,
he's
Consume members.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What's his new band that he was doing?
Night
Feeder.
Yeah, dude, that was on my like top 10s of last year.
Me too. Number 3 or 4 on my top 10.
It was on mine as well. Yeah, the LP. I mean, the EP was Scorcher, and then the LP was even more like intense. It didn't make it one of those albums where like it warms up, and then once you're on the second side, you're like, holy shit, this is just like it doesn't calm down on the seconds. Not that a lot of albums do, but it amps up, and I love when that happens.
That's funny because I was going to say exactly the same. Okay, so I've been listening to this. I'm like, okay, I love the Deathraid side like way more than the other side. I thought so at first, and then last night I was listening to it. I was like, hang on a minute, because the Desperat side kind of starts off a little bit like not so great, but it really gets going and it gets better and better as it kind of goes along. And I had in my kind of mental notes, I was like, okay, this is like, obviously usually a Swedish band, a D-beat band and an American band, like on a split. Probably the Swedish band is probably going to be a little bit better. But I don't know, man. I might have like changed my opinion on that because the Desperate side is actually really, really good as well. Yeah. I mean, these are two bands that are kind of known to probably most people.
Members of Mob 47. They played here. They played in Oakland when Mob 47 played, and Desperat. They killed it.
Yeah, it's great. It's like perfect D-beat for me. It's like not. I've said this before. It's like not too noisy. It's like especially Deathraid have like a little bit of a rock influence going on in the background. Some like rockish, which I like personally. It's weird though. It's like this is like new to me, and when I opened it up, there's fucking like 2 flyers inside the record, and I went to both. I DJ'd at both of the gigs that these flyers were on. So I was like, did I own this before? And did I sell it when I was drunk? And don't remember. And they're pristine. It's like no one's even touched them. So how did that happen? I don't know. So it's this weird like. This one, it's like this. It looks forward to a live gig with like 30 bands, acoustics, Reality Crisis, Poikus, Warhead,
Poikus.
I mean, it's like it's untouched. It was like preserved, like inside that record from like this is like 2012. It was weird. It was like meant to be.
Did you get drunk and
DJ that?
No, I don't think so. I just think it was meant to be that I kind of own this record. It's like these flyers preserved in there. This one.
What you should do is give it to me, and then if it comes back to you,
then I'll know.
Then
you know it's a
weird, like time capsule.
A love song to punk
inside this record that I missed out. Weird. Yeah. But anyway, split album. D-beat doesn't look like a D-beat record.
Well, D-beat on Detakt Rapunk Records, like you're probably going to get something good, right?
So yeah, they kind of know what they're doing, right? So yeah,
they're picky with who they release.
Yeah, you know. So new to me, probably old to everyone watching this, but I've been playing it a lot this week, so I have to show it. You know.
Awesome, man.
Great split.
And if anyone has any of the Deathraid records they want to get rid of, because I can't find them in Japan.
I don't want to get rid of them.
No, I don't. Keep your hands off my record. That's awesome.
I'm quite fussy when it comes to D-Beat, but that record's really, really good. Really good.
The second Deathraid LP is probably my favorite of their stuff. That thing absolutely just kicks my ass.
I think people said that I posted like a track. I said, "Hey guys, anyone know this band?" It's like, yeah, you know, everyone knows it. Yeah, they said like, might be you, Matt. They're like the second LP is like the best one from Deathraid.
It scratches my itch. That thing is awesome.
Yeah. All right, Matt, what's your fourth pick of the day?
So I know, you know, I'm a big fan of this band. I know Christian likes them too. I don't know about the other two of you guys, but growing up here in Moncton, when I was record collecting age, like 15, 16, 17, we had one punk rock record shop called Blast Off Records.
Wow.
Now, the guys that ran Blast Off Records were huge into like the 90s garage punk rock and roll scene. So in high school, we were buying Mummies records and Mullins records and the Cramps and
nice.
And you know, that type of stuff. And this record it might be blasphemy to say this, because this is my favorite record by this band, and it probably isn't most people's favorite record by this band.
I'm excited,
but it is "Scared Straight" by the New Bomb Turks.
Oh,
you know what?
I haven't seen that in a while.
Honestly, and people might not believe me when I say so. I was, as you were saying, I was hoping that was the record that you were going to show. Seriously,
I would put fucking money on you showing the New Bomb Turks record today.
That Epitaph era is my favorite. That one and the other one, like, was it at Rope's End?
At Rope's End, and then Nightmare Scenario afterwards.
That one and that Rope's End are also my two favorite New Bomb Turks.
I saw these cats at what was supposed to be their second last show ever in Somerville, Mass, just outside of Boston, at the Abbey Lounge with the Spitz, who was not the Spitz, but the Spitz Showcase Showdown folks. Spitz.
Oh, wow.
Even better. Showcase Showdown's amazing, dude.
It's his husband and wife had a band called the Spitz, kind of after the fact. And Turpentine Brothers. Anyway, it was supposed to be their last show ever. Turks ended up playing a pile of shows beyond that. But, yeah, these guys, like, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s, just, you know, they were the kings of this stuff. They were absolutely at the top of their game.
I still like first LP, man. Destroy, oh boy.
Well, that's the one. A lot of people would say their favorite album is the earlier stuff.
Can't go wrong. I don't know. I like it.
You know, Epitaph scooped up all these bands, and they just did
the Humpers too, right?
The Humpers, the Cramps,
garage rock, good for
Yeah, you know, they scooped up, you know, the Red Ants too, and Gas Huffer. You know, they had this Epitaph 3, I think is what they called that lineup.
Wayne Kramer.
Wow, yeah.
2 or 3, and then they were gone.
That makes sense.
But like this thing just absolutely kills. You know, not a bad song on it. Jukebox Lean was probably the first song on here that it was on Punkorama.
That's a very Epitaph song. I was going to say, I haven't heard that.
Punkorama.
Punkorama 3, I think. And I was hooked immediately. Immediately on this stuff.
Was 3 green with like fluorescent lettering?
It has a freak show on the front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but yeah, New Bomb Turks was like I met somebody from like Rochester area, and I was like, I like punk, and then I just rattled off some bands, and they're like, how about New Bomb Turks? I was like, I have no idea, and they're like, what? And then they showed me Destroy, oh boy, and I was like, wow, how did I never hear this?
So at my work, I work with a dude named Brian LaManna, and Brian played in the 90s garage band the Valentine Killers from Seattle, and then more recently he is in an East Coast Canadian band called the Phone Jerks. who
No way.
did pretty well. Put out a few records.
That's a great band name.
Alien Snatch and so we listen to this while we pick orders and stuff at work. We're ripping stuff like New Bomb Turks and Zeke and a lot of that great garage rock stuff. And this is something I still go back to pretty regularly.
I play that record all the time, or a lot, even to this day. It's just the songwriting is like every song is just like so well written, and people
It's
songwriting is fantastic. Lyrically, they are geniuses. I mean, they're all English majors, right? So their play on word stuff is second to none.
Toxic Narcotic.
Yeah, I was going to say Toxic Narcotic. They had Rodent Popsicle Records. That put out one of my favorite miseries.
Yeah.
I saw Toxic Narcotic. I used to spend some time in Boston when I was a lot younger, too. I used to play with State Control occasionally. So that's Steve Quicks.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys were awesome. We'd go chill at their place in Boston. It's only like an 8-hour drive from me. It's closer to Matt.
I'm 10 hours from Boston.
What? How does that make any sense? Anyway, I don't understand geography.
I'm way further east.
America, apparently. It's fucking weird, just the way...
of all the cities to say the distance you're from, I'm 10 hours from Boston.
Yeah, I'm like 8 hours from Boston, but somehow in the center of the country, and Boston's on the coast. Matt lives on the coast, and it's further.
I live further into the coast. I'm like way
further.
Yeah,
way further. I forget how that map works, man. New Brunswick's way the hell out there. It's not bad. Like where I am, it's like maybe 9 hours north of Pittsburgh, like 8 hours west of Boston.
I don't even know if I can drive to Pittsburgh in a day. It'd be tight. New York's 16 hours at least.
New York's 12 for me. Not bad.
All right.
Fun to drive around.
What's your next pick of the day, Christian? What's your next
pick? I'll save my kind of lackluster pick for last because people tend to get maybe a little bit burnt out. So I don't know.
I think we're on 4.
Do you guys like fastcore at all?
That depends what it is.
Are they wearing bandanas?
No, I don't think this band would wear a lot of bandanas.
So are they Japanese?
Yes, they are Japanese.
Oh,
then I'm gonna like it.
Okay. Here we go. This is not an LP. This is a 10-inch. Sibafü, The Seed of Silence.
More amazing artwork.
Yeah, do you like it? It's like a dog face with its teeth too high, 3 socks, a separate smiley mouth, and it's on wheels.
As they usually are.
When you said dog face, I was like, that must be the eyes. But
I don't know what it's supposed to be. But Sibafü, man, I wish they had put it out as an LP or an EP because it definitely would have been on my top 10 list last year. But unfortunately, 10-inch. So I don't really have like a 10-inch section for review. I guess I could have thrown it into EPs and not been so fucking picky about it, but whatever. So did you guys listen to like 90s fastcore and stuff like that? Like real shit? It's kind of like...
Probably on like some comps. I don't think I really got that into it.
Well, it's a little darker than some of these straight-ahead hardcore from the 90s. So it's more kind of in line like that band that I was showing the other day. What was that called? D-Smile.
Oh, okay.
So it's somewhere between like happy stuff, like real shit, and D-Smile. So it's not just like totally brutal, but it's fast as fuck, and it's a really fun album. Really fun. That's another one from Revenge Records. I had that on hold, and I'm so grateful for it fucking being on hold for me for months. And I was just like waiting to find other stuff to kind of add.
Okay. Yeah.
Luckily, that Tiikeri album came out, and I was just like, fuck, I get both of them at once. I just played them like crazy, like as soon as they got here. But yeah, Sibafü, The Seed of Silence. Definitely check that out if you're not familiar. I think there's maybe 20 seconds of the album that kind of slow down. Wow. Besides that, it's fast, on top of fast. And I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite things about punk in general is that it's fast. Got a short attention span. I don't know how I get through Eremit records.
I was going to say, how did you manage that?
I just kind of like, it kind of goes in the background of my mind eventually. Just like, oh yeah, that's still playing. Something like that.
There you go. I've never heard of it. I'm going to check out Revenge Records next week, see if it's still in there.
Yeah, definitely check it out. One of the dudes, I would have to look it up, but I know one of the dudes was in an old MCR band as well. Their drummer. So you might know their drummer. I would have to look at it, though.
All right. Cool.
I'll bug you with that later.
All right. Let's know. All right, Jason, what's your fourth pick?
My fourth, I don't think anyone's going to be a stranger to my fourth pick. This band has a new album coming out. I don't think they've had an album in about 20 years or so. This album from 92, 93 is definitely, I think, is like the apex. After my intermission, I'm going back to crust, European crust. And here we have it.
Yes, man.
This fucking album is, I just think it's like fucking, they just give 1,000% from Willie to the drummer. Ben, the drummer, I think is my favorite crust drummer. The intensity in this album and the passion of the lyrics, and like at this was the time period where you'd have the lyrics and then they would like explain what the lyrics were about. And like Willie like completely shredded his vocals on this record or that time period. And then the subsequent next to a couple LPs, he sang in a different style. But anyway, they have a new record coming out of hand that I've pre-ordered from Ruin Nation.
Nice.
But yeah, Hiatus, from Resignation to Revolt, I think is just like a quintessential crust record from early mid-90s Europe.
Yeah, as soon as you pulled that Ebola record earlier, it got hiatus bubbling in the back of my brain.
No shit. I mean, this is my first time here, and I just had to go with some new stuff, but I had to do a couple favorites, and those are definitely like I think some of the best heavy hardcore crust punk records ever. I mean, the drumming on that fucking album just blows me away, and Azil's riffs, it's just great.
Yeah, that's a classic crust record, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward
I'm so stoked that they're just like still playing, like, or at least started playing again, maybe. I'm not really. They probably took a break for a good long time.
Yeah, they were down for a handful of years there, I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
But they're fucking back, and they seem to like really be partying quite a bit too. So
they
like they're
like
enjoying
it. Don't they?
Well,
I
know how
know some New York bands that went to Belgium and
some homebrew
ran into those guys, and holy shit, apparently they can really fucking put them away.
Yes, that's what they're kind of famous for.
Yeah.
Cool.
The European punk bands might actually drink harder than the Canadians.
That's not what I found being over there.
No,
they were just like fucking terrified with how much we were drinking.
Yeah, but you're not. You weren't. I should say.
Oh, it wasn't just me, man. We had like a couple of guys in the band that were just like destroying like everybody. We drank a few venues out of booze. Like one in Italy, I played like Modena there. You guys know that place at all? It's in the north. Anyway, I played with the band No White Rag. I think they actually have a new album coming out this year. I played with them maybe 2007. So long time band from northern Italy.
Okay. Really
anarcho band. Played a crazy squat there though, but yeah, I got the last beer at the venue. Drank the place dry.
Great days.
2 places too, man. I used to love drinking.
All right, it's the last round, and people might think, why the hell is he showing this one? But I'll tell you why. Man, this is a real old favorite of mine.
Hey, do you guys hear that?
Oh,
garbage truck.
He's
I hear like a
he's
ice cream truck.
That's the garbage truck.
That's the garbage truck. He's 4 minutes late, 5 minutes late, but he's here. Busy.
Why does the garbage truck play ice cream music?
Because we need to petition that happens to all
it sounds like a
garbage
joke.
trucks now that you know about it.
No, it's like, how can I put this? It's like dispelling the stereotype that the garbage man is, dirty and like it's a sweet, nice thing everyone should look forward to and be happy about. It's like the Tiikeri of truck driving. It's like everyone feels happy when like.
Guess who's here?
Yeah, the garbage
Take your
man.
trash.
That kind of thing. Yeah. So, you don't want to feel
I
sad.
think
It's a
that's a
happy
pretty
time.
kind thing to do. You don't want stigma around your garbage collectors.
Oh, it's a happy
They
time
do
of
an
day.
important
I
job.
wish my garbage truck played music.
That's what I was saying. Everyone needs to petition their respective
people
city councilors to have garbage trucks playing ice cream and music. Yeah, the garbage man
Garbage
does.
man needs a drink.
Yes, he does.
Don't encourage drinking and driving.
Throw a bottle out the window for him, Mike. Hey, buddy, need a drink?
Yeah.
DB garbage man.
Yeah,
DB
love that guy.
garbage man.
Love that guy.
Sounds pretty fun.
All right. He's gone now. He'll be back next week, same time next week.
Love
So
that
tune
fucking
in.
garbage man.
Yeah, tune in at 12:30 JST Saturday for the garbage man coming around.
Garbage jingles. That's what I was suggesting earlier. I don't know if you'll adopt it into your format, but you should have the garbage truck lightning round where we show 7 inches or something.
Wait.
I like it.
All right, what am I doing? Oh, my last pick of the day. Garbage man put me off again. This is a band I used to go and see all the time, like back in the mid to late 80s. They used to play with all the American bands, or not all, a lot of American bands at all. I think I saw them with like Scream, like supporting Scream. Love this band. I saw this record in Disc Union the other day, and I realized I'd actually never owned it on vinyl. Right? It came out in like 1988. What a fantastic band. They did a Peel session, had a couple of singles out, and a full-length record. Meantime Records, which kind of dealt with, for the most part, the more melodic side of this era of UK punk and hardcore. It's not the cross side, the more melodic side. The Joyce McKinney experience, Joyce Offspring.
Never heard of it.
Really, man, are you in for a treat? If you like this melodic.
Is there a 4-band split maybe that they're on?
Oh, there might be.
I've got something they've done.
Okay. This is their only LP. They had a 12-inch EP. This is their only LP. They did a Peel session. They have a 7. They might be. They've been on a couple of comps also, definitely from like that era. But
sound anything like Leatherface?
Well, no. I mean, kind of. You could. I mean, it's melodic punk from the UK from the same time period. But what we've got here is 2 female vocalists.
Oh, killer.
Singing. Right? Not like screaming or shouting. Singing. Really, really well. I mean, for me, this is like top of the tree. In UK, like late 80s, melodic punk. Incredible band. Incredible record. And there's a little bit of DC influence in there from like the late period, like DC, like 3, Ignition, with the vocal harmonies. Sometimes you get they've been listening to a lot of like DC stuff, and I did see them with Scream. I think I saw them with Fire Party in the UK. But this is more punk. It's not like experimental or weird emo. It's very straightforward, like melodic hardcore punk with like dual female vocals.
Sound like Poles at all?
Oh, but I mean,
wait, I think I have an EP of theirs.
Boring Rock.
I have Boring Rock.
There you go. Yeah.
So
it's really good.
What I have is a comp.
That's all I have.
It's a 4-way split called "Shall We Dance."
Okay.
And it's Joyce McKinney Experience, Decadence Within, Nox Mortis, and Incest Brothers.
There you go.
Incest Brothers, fucking
yeah.
A, man.
Yeah, that Boring Rock was like 89.
Yeah, this is 88. I mean,
okay.
I'm going to say it's a classic. Just if you like melodic hardcore, it's funny because when I was listening to this, I was like, I've never had to describe this record before because we didn't do that back then. You just liked it or you didn't, or it's like, now I've got to kind of describe what this record sounds like for the first time ever, even though I know this record like back to front. But Dan, Sofahead, they were kind of in the same ballpark. Just melodic UK hardcore punk from the late 80s. The drummer.
You ever?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Sorry. You ever hear of this German band, Those Who Survived the Plague? And it was from like late 80s, and there was a split with Hoffnung, a German band. Anyway, they're singing, it's melodic, but it's definitely hardcore.
Right.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I mean, the thing that really kind of sets this band apart is the dual female vocals that they really trade. Sometimes they're in harmony. Sometimes one vocalist will take a line and they'll trade off. They do it so inventively and it's so catchy. And there's beautiful, beautiful melodies like all over this record. It's beautiful.
That sounds cool. I'm a sucker for
that. Sounds great, man.
It's great. So yeah, it's an old classic that I'd never owned before on vinyl. Found it like last week or 2 weeks ago. So I've been playing this a lot this past week because I love this record and I love this band. But Joyce McKinney Experience, clever title too. Joyce of Spring, Joyce.
Yeah, I saw that.
Spring. Yeah,
and I don't know if anybody knows who like Joyce McKinney was. That's another. We could talk about that for like an hour or 2 hours about who. Look it up. Look up just Joyce McKinney.
How about a
It's
5-minute?
an amazing story and about this woman. It's crazy. You couldn't make it.
I gotta say
Any chance they're
referencing
like the Mr. T experience?
No, nothing. God,
okay, just
I haven't heard them. I don't know what to expect. I hear pop punk. It could sound like a lot of things.
It's based around like this woman, like Joyce McKinney. There's this like, story behind her. It's pretty wild.
Joyce McKinney Experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely want to check it out.
Yeah. All right, that's my last pick of the day.
Yeah, that boring rock, like it definitely is like, intense, abrasive, but they're singing. You know.
Yeah.
Let's get. Yeah, I can't try to think of a comparison.
I mean, there's a lot of modern day bands with female vocalists that like do melodic punk. You know, especially Spanish bands, right? Like Accidente and. You know,
I was saying Pulse.
Pulse too. Yep.
Yeah. I was asking yeah, for sure. All three of those bands smoke, by the way. Love them.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, I suppose. You could fairly compare it to that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Most excellent.
But from the UK in the 80s, you know.
Even better.
All right.
80s UK, can't go wrong.
There you go. But sometimes people think of like the more noisy stuff from the England in the late 80s, 90s, and sometimes like this stuff kind of gets forgotten a little bit. But yeah, a lot of good stuff from the UK back in that day. So. All right, Matt, what's your last pick of the day?
So my last pick, I'm going to break the rules because you know, I'm a fucking, you know, we're punks, right? Fuck the rules. What are you gonna do? What are you, cops? So
break them.
Call the garbage man on you.
This band is from my hometown. This band is known as the pride and disgrace of Moncton, New Brunswick. Probably the only person who's on this that knows who this band is Mr. Grant Forsyth from Neighborhood Watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 4 7-inches by the greatest punk band from my town ever. And criminally undervalued, underlistened to, underheard, unknown, because they loved East Coast. They never played anywhere else. They put out the records themselves. They didn't push them to labels. This is all, you know, DIY, Moncton, New Brunswick punk. Bad Luck, number 13. So
cool.
They did 4 7-inch records.
I love that drawing.
Over the course of their career. The first one coming out in 1993, second one 96, third one 99, and the fourth one came out after they retired with one at a reunion show. It was recorded in 99 in the same session, but came out in 2007 or so at a show which I may have been arrested at. So, you know.
You were totally arrested there.
A little arrested.
Just a little arrested.
I pulled the switchblade out of my pocket while they were trying to cuff me and kicked it under a car. It was an interesting night.
Kind of the guy that carries his switchblade around.
Bad Luck number 13. So they're like somewhere between 77 punk and DOA. Live, they would play One Way System and Discharge and Gangrene and two Pistol songs in a row. They're punks through and through. They grew up. Band formed like in the mid late 80s. Lineup solidified towards the late 80s. A bunch of late teens, early 20s guys, and the dude that owned the local record store, who was about 10, 12 years older than the rest of them. And they were together, till about 2001 when they decided to retire the band. These guys are the band that I grew up, listening to, grew up loving. The record shop I work at, Ray 13, the guitar player, is one of our staff as well. He's still in the scene, still playing in bands, still going to shows all the time. These guys are the guys that we grew up looking up to, and an absolute wild live band. The singer, dude named Mike, aka the Man of Bat, not Batman, the Man of Bat, could be seen in gray, a funeral dress, a Spider-Man outfit, hanging upside down from the rafters. Crowd, baiting the crowd. Yeah, bad luck. It's wedding. That is a fact. And that was after they retired. That was technically like their last show.
That's tight.
From the original
I love these obscure ones that I'd probably never ever.
This is the thing. It's like old favorites, new things, obscurities. All
the first 7-inch here, Les Enfants Terribles, terrible children.
Yeah.
This thing, in the right markets is like fetching, $30 to $50 these days. I
was going to ask, how
it has that look.
It's not totally unknown, but it's this the closest thing to like a Killed by Death single that's ever going to come out of Moncton, New Brunswick.
That's crazy. Has anybody uploaded it? Is it something I could hear on YouTube?
Their tape, which was like a live radio station demo called "Tight as a $5 Whore," is on YouTube. And also another second thing. This is their second 7-inch called "Fear of Lipstick," which is the name of a pop punk band or a punk rock band from also Moncton, New Brunswick, who was on like P-Trash and toured around, put out a pile of records. Fear of Lipstick. Also a dude I work with at their local record store. But they stole their name from the local legends. But, criminally underrated band.
Is it time for a singles compilation album? Who's going to step up to that?
And you were arrested, so
it is. It really is.
Yeah.
That thing definitely needs to happen at some point.
Yeah.
There's probably a double LP worth of material out there.
Oh, wow.
Because there's some comp tracks. There's definitely some awesome odds and ends. There's that live radio station tape. You could probably put together a nice double LP of everything they ever recorded.
Okay.
Something in Rotting Head Records' future, maybe.
Well, potentially. Who knows?
I think it'd do well, man. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Christian, bring it on home. Well, not quite yet. Got Jason one more. What's your last pick of the day?
Hey, I got skipped.
No, it means you now and then me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so me. What? Anyway,
I got skipped.
Well, you might as well have skipped me. So my last pick of the day, I have to say, is not going to blow anybody away.
Oh,
not anyone.
Let's see.
Bomb Raid.
No, it's fucking Flower, man. I like Flower too.
Oh, there you go.
So we've already talked about as much as we need to talk about Flower. Everything that needs to be said about Flower, I think we've said here. But it is a killer album.
It's a great album.
It's killer,
and
man.
It does its own thing.
And I'm glad we're on the same page. So I don't think it's a bad thing when you see like people showing new music on one of these forums and you see multiple people pulling out the same album. It just lets you know how good that those albums are.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, you said that it's kind of like Nausea. Yeah, it definitely is like Nausea for sure. Not quite as hard as Nausea though. I don't know. I think Nausea is kind of unmatched. At least some of their tracks are just fucking ridiculous. Like, what's that song?
Yeah,
Battered by
almost,
Nausea?
like, off-time
That's like
singing.
heavy as hell, man. But good pick, Jason, and I had the same one, so that's my last one for today.
Yeah, I agree. If if the same record that's new pops up either at the same time or a few weeks in a row, it means it's good, right? So
I was shocked that you didn't pull out Tiikeri. That's what I was kind of alluding to when we were talking. I was waiting to see it, man.
Didn't I already show it? Didn't I? Did I? I don't know. I thought
I was looking. That's why I was asking for this list, because I couldn't believe it.
You know what? I think I had it in a pile for 1 week, and then at the last minute, I kind of swapped it out for some weird reason. What are you going to do? But anyway, it's been shown now.
You know what?
Similar to the, like...
One more time before we go. Yeah. Best album of the year so far, guys. Punk Rock Pamaus.
Okay, Tiger.
Tiikeri. Fucking awesome record, man. I'm going to listen to that, like, in a couple minutes, probably.
I also, with the Flower, like, it's the second side. I think it starts off with somewhat of a blast beat kind of thing, and also has that, you know, harkening back to, like, Ebola and Hiatus, that, like, the Crust album, it had to have this, like, intro. Like, if you had a sick intro that was, like, really amping you up for the rest of the album.
I think Anti-Sex.
Or, like, in it, you know, like, the Filth Kick split with ENT, like...
solid album.
Yeah, I think it's just called Intro. I think that's, like, one of the fucking punkest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, I feel like that started with Anti-Sect on their album. They did that really long.
Yeah. Yeah, good reminder. Yeah.
I'd have to check dates. We'll just go with
Anti-Sect's early, you know, pretty early. Like,
what about Crass?
Mr. T Experience always has
really good intro. Long intros.
My god,
fucking brutal.
I apologize for mentioning the Mr. T Experience.
I was surprised. I was like, it's been a while since I've heard that name.
I know I haven't. It's not like I'm. Anyway, you've seen what I've been listening to.
I mean, I've been pulling out stuff from that, like, you know, New Bomb Turks or that time period, and I'm just, you know, I just want to hear it again. I just haven't heard it in forever. Do I still like it or not?
All right, Jason.
Okay.
Last pick of the day.
My last one, I was also trying to, like, switch it up a little bit. This is this was like a brother duo group. This reissue just came out. It was recorded in 1993, I believe, and one of the brothers tragically died crossing, I think, Nassau, the Long Island Expressway. I don't know, in Long Island. Okay. And the other guy, the older brother, passed away like October 2020. Anyway, my final record is KMD.
Nice.
This is MF Doom and his brother.
Wow.
Sorry. MF Doom, about maybe 19 years old, and his brother. And this is really good. And I just been listening to it a lot. The other thing is
that repress or OG, man?
So it apparently was recorded in around 93, and the brother tragically passed away before it was even released, but it was going to be released by Elektra, but they would not print this artwork, and the brother, they were not going to compromise on changing the artwork. And it's just like, it has that, I mean, I grew up listening to De La Soul, EPMD, skateboarding around, and it has that, like, I feel like there's a lot of similarities between rap and punk and even like true country music, whether it's the sentiment or the rhythm of it. Anyway, the name of the album is Black Bastards, and has a lot of samples. It has that East Coast rap drive, you know, like I find that, like, West Coast, it's like a little more haunted. It's like haunted housey, like
that's like horrorcore stuff.
And then, like, I feel like East Coast sounds like you're like riding the train. Like, it just sounds like a little more driven, like Eric B. and Rakim or something. So I wanted to switch it up, also bring some crust, bring some punk, bring some synthwave. and with a rap album that finally is getting a release. And if you like anything like that, I highly recommend this album.
Yeah, that was I don't know, man. I assumed that was like an older release just based off of the art, but I never really listened to too much MF Doom. I listened to a lot of hip hop though, and I kind of feel bad that I never got into MF Doom, but it's totally just situational. You can only listen to so much stuff, I guess. But I was really big on like Biggie and like Big L, Nas, any kind of stuff like
that. Both New York guys.
New York State of Mind, man. Come on.
Yeah, Big L and Biggie. It's great. I don't like delve like certain genres. I don't delve in like super, but like
I still
tell when something's really special, and it's just it's just really sad that they both passed away. The one brother never even heard it come out. So
yeah,
I feel like
that's one of the reasons why I brought up Big L, right?
Golden age. I'm sorry.
That's one of the reasons why I brought up Big L, because Big L got murdered before his album came out. So you have to hear it too. Kind of reminiscent.
For sure.
I feel like the last record of last week's show was an MF Doom record as well, which is pretty cool. I feel like Anthony.
Oh, right.
I feel like Anthony from like Kill Your Idols. I think his last pick of the episode last week was an MF Doom record too. That's pretty cool.
Sick. I've been trying to catch up on like all your episodes.
No, it's great. It was a different one. It wasn't that one. It was another MF Doom record. So a lot of love for that guy, and a lot of love in the comments too for that pick. So there you go. It's a good last pick.
Thanks, guys.
There you go.
Definitely, man. Way to bust out hip hop. I don't know, and like I was saying, like I still listen to hip hop. Do you guys like check out any modern stuff?
I don't know modern at all. I like the early '80s stuff, but I mean, at the record shop. Moncton has never been a big hip hop town, but now that we're able to get like the Frank Ocean and the MF Doom and Mac Miller and all that type of stuff, we're moving a ridiculous amount of modern hip hop. A lot of it's bootlegs because it was like mixtapes and
that's awesome.
Downloadable stuff. But we're just moving a pile of that stuff, and we've never had a real scene for that here. So it's I know the artists. I've never probably heard any other stuff though.
If you ever kind of want to ease your way into like trap, really classy artist is Future. Check out Future.
I've heard of that person, but yeah, cool.
It's awesome, man.
All right, that's a great way to end up this week's episode. So, thanks for that, Jason. That's a nice pick. Cool. All right, it's been a great episode. Old favorites, new favorites, stuff we haven't heard before. Great mix of all sorts of stuff. We had a good time. Thanks for tuning in. Some great comments. A lot of people watching tonight. Have a great weekend. We'll be back next. Hang on, let me get this right. Next Friday, same time. Next week, we've got Amanda Schutzman, Andrew Orlando, and the inimitable Mr. Paul Bayer, who's one of
Wait, who?
Mike's frozen in time again.
I'm excited to have Paul back again. Everyone,
stay
healthy, clean.